Hi everyone, it's another great day, it's another good time for us to hear the Word of God. And today I'm not the speaker. We are privileged to have with us Maya. She's a worship leader, but most importantly, she's a child of God. This morning, depending on when you see this message, we are recording it in the morning. We are going to be talking about a very, very important message which affects mainly the youth. We are going to talk about 6 things that affect the youth today. But before we even do that, I just want to welcome Maya. Maya, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
I hope you are doing all right.
Yes, I'm doing very well.
And you are staying safe.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Please greet our audience.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. And I believe that we'll be blessed in the conversation that we're having today. My name is Maya, as he said. I'm a worship leader at Christian Life Assembly. I'm also a Bible teacher at Kigali International Community School. And I'm so happy to be here and have this conversation with William.
Man. So there are so many challenges our youth are facing today. But today we are going to focus on 6 main challenges. And we are beginning with the challenge number 1, lack of self-confidence. Maya, every time I pass by the streets, I see young adults standing, talking, sometimes discussing about sports, sometimes talking about good styles, fashion, good food, talking about the different things. But when you get a chance to talk with one-on-one, you find that they lack self-confidence. What can you say about that?
Yeah, thank you. I agree that there is a real issue of self-confidence in our society among young people today. And it comes from a number of issues. And I'm going to maybe point out some of the things that I personally have struggled with. And I'll also talk about some of the things that I've observed from some people who are in my age group or rather in my generation. The first thing is, we live in a generation that overemphasizes, we live in a generation where we have so much information that's poured out to us, and then there's this image of a person that we all have because of what we see in the media, because of what we see on TV, in the movies, and we have this really false world that we live in. And we are comparing ourselves constantly against this falseness, and I know that we'll talk about some of the specific issues as we go on in this conversation. But generally, there's this thing we're trying to measure up to, whether it's in image, physical image, whether it's in relationships, for example, or even generally in life in terms of accomplishments. And so we live in a world where we are constantly compared to things that are unrealistic, and they're not in line with reality today. And another thing, of course, is obviously the daily challenges of life. If you're a young person, you finish school, you graduate from school, you have goals for your life. And when you enter life, you realize that, life is not as straightforward as we think it is. There are a bit of turns here and there. Maybe you thought you'd get a job at this time, and you don't get a job at this time. And you start to live this life of constantly comparing yourself with people who are in your age group. I personally struggled with this one for a long time, whereby I really I was not satisfied. I was discontented with my life, and that destroyed my self-confidence because I was constantly feeling like I should be there in life and I'm not there. So these are some of the things that we face as young people because we want to be able to accomplish certain things in our lives. We want to get somewhere, and we have this zeal and this passion to accomplish a lot of things. But then when we come to the reality, we realize that life is not as easy as it seems, And so self-confidence is just a challenge for us because we look at ourselves and we're not really satisfied with our lives. Yeah. And we compare ourselves and we feel like so-and-so is better than us. And again, we're going to talk about the issue of social media, and that feeds into into that area of our lives where we struggle with self-confidence, and we live this life where if you were to ask maybe interview maybe 10 young people, many of them will tell you that they're not happy with their lives. They feel like they are failures. They feel like, they should have accomplished this or that. And so, yeah, self-confidence is a huge issue, and then it affects how you present yourself to the world, because you always feel like this person has a better life than you do, or because if you had that education, if you had that family name, you would have been better off. And so, yeah, I feel like there's a whole lot of things that kind of connect to the issue of self-confidence, but it's a really, really big issue.
Yeah, it's a big issue. I remember a while back I met a girl who is our neighbor here, actually. I asked her, she came to me and said, I need a job, but I can't get a job. I said, did you finish college? She said she has master's in, I think it was in MBA. Then I said, what kind of job are you looking for? She said, any job, even in cleaning. I'm willing to do cleaning.
Wow.
I said, you want to be a maid? She said, I can even be a maid because I have failed to get a job. Which brings a fact that this girl, probably she's not having that self-confidence in her.
Yeah.
You cannot fail to get a job when you have MBA. You are young, you are smart, you have MBA, and you fail to get a job to the point that you want to be a maid.
Yeah.
So, what does the Bible say about self-confidence?
Yeah. I think it's in the book of Hebrews chapter 6. It says that do not give up or do not lose your confidence, because it's of great worth in the sight of the Lord. Personally, for my own testimony, by the way, I had, just very quickly, I finished high school and had so many goals for my life. When I went after high school, I didn't get an opportunity to go to university immediately. And so I spent a few years doing this. I even worked in a hair salon, and I really struggled with where my life was going. But one time, I think one thing that helped me push through that season is to really realize that I have the ability to create opportunities for myself. Confidence is it's an asset, guys. It's an asset. Build your confidence, because you can walk in a place and they don't even care about what papers you have. Why? Because of the way you present yourself. You are the asset that you need. Your education is maybe there to maybe help you get to a certain door. But once you get through that door, your confidence will get you to the next level. And so build that confidence. And in order to build that confidence, you don't just build confidence when you're just an empty vessel. You pour into your life. You pour into your life because we have schools and we have family names and we have all these great things. But when you have built character and you've poured yourself, you are able to stand before great people and you have something to say. Yeah. So I think that as young people, we shouldn't be so discouraged whether we feel like we don't have certain opportunities. We can create those opportunities for ourselves. Believe in ourselves. And that's not just because motivational speakers tell us that, but it's really the truth. We ourselves can be able to create opportunities for ourselves if we invest in who we are. And who we are is something nobody can take away from you. It's something that even if a crisis comes and the job that you have becomes no longer needed because technology has taken it away, you are a person that cannot be replaced. If you invest in yourself, if you make sure that you are spending time filling your life with things that are worthwhile, you will be able to see that you change and you become transformed and you think differently and you speak differently. But if you are honestly not spending time investing in who you are, you will struggle with self-confidence. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Maya.
Yeah.
Self-confidence is the way to go. In other words, you have to trust yourself. Believe in yourself. You are more than a conqueror because, God created you in a special way. Mm-hmm. You have to trust who you are. Don't expect other people's approval. Mm-hmm. Your approval comes first. And once you have self-confidence, then you'll go to another level. Thank you so much, Maya. So we're going to tackle issue number 2. It's something related to body image. Mm-hmm. Can you say something about body image?
Yeah.
I know you're down. That's, oh my goodness.
I know, that's a really big thing, and it's so hard to just find a way to really approach this topic. So, as we mentioned in the first part, body image is such a big thing more than ever today because we are constantly bombarded with images, and now we have filters, guys. We can just pretend to be people we're not. You know, you can just take a camera and manipulate it and just look like somebody else. I feel like, you know, body image is something that really big, even though it's about the outside, it's really about the inside. It's really about understanding, like we mentioned in the first part, your worth. Your worth is innate. It's not as a result of your physical appearance, or it's not as a result of, you know, whether somebody tells you today you're looking good or not. Your body image is because you are already created in the image of God. That means that your worth is it is inside you. You're born with your worth, and there's nothing that can change that worth. Jesus came and paid the highest price possible because you and I are worth it, and He saved us so that we could be able to live this life understanding that we are really worth. Now, I'm a married woman, and I honestly appreciate when my husband tells me, "You're looking really beautiful, and I like this dress, or looks good on you," and those are really good things. But I want to encourage, especially ladies out there, that if we are constantly living and depending on someone to tell us that we're beautiful, if you don't believe that you are already beautiful, and if you are constantly relying on physical beauty because beauty is a big thing, right? It's not just about physical beauty, and I'll talk about 1 Peter and what it says about that. But we need to understand that our worth, our physical beauty, and all these other things, right? They are good, they are wonderful, but that's not what determines true beauty. True beauty is much more than physical beauty. Yeah.
I also sometimes think that every person is beautiful.
Yeah.
Even the outside part.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who came up with a platform or a yardstick to determine beauty.
Yeah.
I remember many years ago in Uganda, they started ugly contest. They wanted to find Mr. Ugly, the ugliest man in Uganda. And so 2 people qualified, and eventually they had to pick one. So the one who was picked and another one who was rejected. The rejected guy said, "I qualify to be Mr. Ugly, but you have rejected me and you picked that one. I think he's more handsome than me." You know? So I still believe that even when you look at yourself in the mirror, you have to appreciate who you are. 50% of the people we see physically are different from 100% people we see in images.
Yeah.
People they crop their images and they change who they are, and they become who they are not because they want to please the world.
Yeah.
When you go to Facebook or Instagram, the people you see there is different from the actual person you meet on the street.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they put lots of makeup, they put different things. There's a way they edit their images to make them who they are not. But I still believe that how you look is beautiful. You have to appreciate yourself. Once you appreciate yourself, you will ignore what other people think about you. But like Maya said, your inner beauty is what counts.
Yeah.
Because it is your inner beauty that actually changes the world.
Yeah.
So Maya, thank you so much for this. And I still have a question related on body image. Why is it mainly girls doing that? It's always girls trying to change themselves.
I think it's mostly because of the media.
Yeah.
And, this is one thing that I really personally struggle with, the objectification of women.
Yeah.
And we are literally turned into decor. Like, the way we have this we are reduced to things that are supposed to beautify an environment, and it's as if all there is to a woman is just there's so much emphasis on physical beauty, and I think that's why it's because when we look at when you watch TV even for 5 minutes, you see even an advert on the most random thing, like it could be advertising tomato paste, but it's going to come back to the beauty of a woman,
Yes.
Everything is always reduced to those things, and so there's so much pressure on women, and as a result of that pressure, women just feel like they struggle with trying to live up to those expectations.
And most girls, especially in the music industry, they want to present themselves half naked because they feel they are not good enough to attract the attention of people, and what they want to do is to dress up in a way that is not appropriate, so that people can imagine the beauty that is on them, and so which actually makes things hard for most young girls. You see, even the competition today in the music industry is always someone will get more views when she dances half naked.
Yeah, true.
And when you dress up decent, very few people want to see you.
Yeah.
Does it mean, why is it happening like that? Why?
Yeah. I think it's, again, comes back to the issue of really just people objectifying women. It's almost as if they're telling you that I don't really care about what you're saying, I just care about you showing me something that will interest me and attract me.
Yeah.
And so I really personally respect it. And let me just say this, and this is not something that I would necessarily say is a rule for everybody, but for me personally, I really feel like I do not want to unnecessarily attract attention to myself.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the one who needed to be attracted to me has already married me. So for the rest of the world, like I just feel like if I have a message to the world, it doesn't have anything to do with my face.
Yeah.
You know? Like I don't want people to just be there staring at my face and go, oh wow, she's so pretty. But I really would want to give them, beyond my physical looks, give them a real message that will change their lives. But it's like in the world, it's the opposite. It's like, listen, don't talk too much. If you can, keep quiet, say a few things, but as much as possible, show us something that will actually make us feel good. And it will be, the Bible talks about the things of the world are lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. And those are the things that we are feeding when we are doing that.
Yeah.
And that's what will, in the world, the Bible says, do not love the world and the things of the world. If you love the world love of the Father is not in you. Because the system of the world operates like that. If you're feeding into the lust of people, they will buy your stuff. But if you're not feeding into the lust of people, you have few views and nobody really care about you. Yeah. And honestly, guys, we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with not having as many views, not being as famous, if it means us doing what, is really valuable. Even if you impact two people, but you're impacting them in a way that's really valuable, not in a way that's just going to satisfy their physical desires and lust, and then that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Maya. We are going to tackle problem number 3. And this is a general challenge. It's about family problems. How do family problems, Maya, affect an individual?
Yeah.
How does it affect me to become me and change people around me?
I think that every human being really wants to feel loved, and they want to belong, and they want to feel like they are loved by the people that they really value the most, which is usually their closest family members. Yeah. Now, the reality is that no family is perfect. No family is perfect, and we have a lot of issues in our families. And so as young people, we kind of go through this season where we are a little bit disillusioned. We have this idea of our parents and the families, and then we go out and we realize that they're not perfect people. And then we live disgruntled, angry, entitled, feeling like the whole world owes us.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I've seen, like for instance, that's common here in Rwanda is that we want to protect the image of our families, but we do so at the cost of ourselves, right?
Yes.
And so we walk around and we want to say we are fine, we are okay. We want to put up this image that our families are really good, and then we are being affected because we're living a facade. And the more we are living that facade, the more we're confronted with the reality of what our lives are really like. And then also that hinders us from really getting the help that we need to get sometimes. So like families where there's divorce, where there is infidelity. I'm not saying that we should go and talk about everything to everyone, but I feel like one of the things is that as young people, we are having to feel the pressure of holding it together, of keeping it together, and we know it ourselves in our hearts that we have this anger, we have this unforgiveness, we have all these things, and it's really impacting who we are becoming and who we will become. One of the things that I grew up in a home that really struggled with so many issues. One of the things that God told me is that if you do not deal with the issues, you will become exactly the person you don't want to become, because that's all you ever know.
Yeah.
If you are in a family where they've seen abuse, guess what? You're most likely to become the abuser.
Yeah.
And so the only way to be able to confront those issues is, first of all, to be really truthful with ourselves and to find people that can walk with us in that journey of healing, and to realize, guys, that our parents, our aunties, our uncles, they're human. They were never supposed to be perfect.
Yeah.
They are doing their best, and they're making mistakes, yes. But we need to own our future, and in order to own our future, we need to face the realities of what we ourselves have struggled with if we are to get past it and become better people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maya. We're going to take a short break and we'll come back right after.